Good evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Ann Murphy. As people are coming in, please get your little tippy tappy fingers. Ooh, hold on one second. I got to get my coffee. Okay, I'm back. Get your tippy tappy fingers warmed up because today I'm going to be answering your questions in the chat and also asking you to drop some information in there. And I really want this to be collaborative and interactive because as I go, I'm going to be pouring a lot of probably new information for lots of folks into this presentation. And I definitely want to be able to catch your questions as we go. So do get ready to drop some information into the chat. And I'm going to open up my chat area so that I can be in conversation. I know, isn't it so cool, Barb, that it tells, I don't know how many people it tells. I don't know if it's like all of everybody who I'm connected with or what, but I love that it lets you know because it's not always easy to find these events if it doesn't show up right in your stream or notify you on your phone. So Barb, welcome. To others who are pouring in right now, welcome. And if you are watching on the replay, so happy you're here. Please do, even though it's going to be after the fact, drop your questions in because I go back and I look at comments later. So I'll be able to answer your questions as we go. I know, unlike the FYP, exactly. So as we get started, let me know where you are right now in the world. Share a little bit about how you've been using generative AI in your work or in your life. And if you're a total newbie, that is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to teach to the level of you've been using ChatGPT a little tiny bit, but if that's not the case for everybody, don't worry. Hi, Greg. Don't worry because I'm going to be providing you with materials afterward that include our ChatGPT starter guide. The prompts will be all mapped out for you. I have resources galore. And what we just started to do was we have them all in one nice, neat, clean, and organized link for you. So after this presentation, send us an email at hello@empoweredfundraiser.com, and we will get you the recording, the prompts, and the e-guide, and anything else that comes up. Hi, LinkedIn user. You've been using AI for help with fundraising for my nonprofit. Oh, for your own nonprofit. That's awesome. Good, 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 good. Choosing bourbon. Exactly, Greg. I mean, how are we supposed to make these decisions by ourselves anymore? And why would we? And ChatGPT has wonderful taste. Yeah, so Donnie just dropped our email address in there. So that's where you'll go to get the information from the past few workshops and this one. So far we've done, what did we do? We did, preparing for visits, scheduling meetings, storytelling, anticipating donor questions. So I've got a 1-hour training for each of those. And then I've got the guide and then I've got the prompts. So email me. And Donnie, who is my business partner and my husband, he will be reminding folks of that in the chat. All right, let's dive in. Some of you know me a little bit. And so you know that I'm going to hurry everybody with my PSA that please, please, please subscribe to ChatGPT Plus. I know that there's a lot of chat out there about all sorts of neat and nifty tools with cute names or names you've never heard of and that you're going to forget in 1 second. ChatGPT Plus remains the best investment of your time and money that time and money can buy. It's $20 a month. And I know that is not it's not a given that everybody can afford another $20 a month in all of the subscriptions that they have, but here's how you're going to make that money back. And I promise you, if you just use these 2 use cases, you're going to make your money back immediately. So one of the things that ChatGPT Plus allows you to do is use vision, which means you can take a picture of anything and ask ChatGPT all kinds of stuff based on that image. So take a picture of your refrigerator and maybe your pantry too, because you can put 4 images into one chat. Oh, Donnie, the dogs are barking. Can you come in and grab them? Sorry, everybody, just a little bit of, a little bit of behind the scenes crosstalk here. So you're going to take a picture of your refrigerator in your pantry, and you're going to ask ChatGPT, I don't want to go to the store, but I want to make a yummy dinner. What can I make with what I already have on hand? Send me options, send me recipes. You could say, send me recipes that have 5 ingredients or less. Whatever. You could say, send me recipes based on what I should make tonight because there's stuff in my fridge that might be going bad, right? Like, let's say you've got some like celery that was super delicious and crispy, 4 or 5 days ago. Nobody wants like less than crispy and crunchy celery. ChatGPT can help you prioritize a recipe that will use that stuff now. So boom, there's your bare minimum $20. I don't know if anyone can go into a grocery store now and buy anything and not spend more than $20. And then here's another one. This is one of my very, very favorite use cases. And it's excellent if you are going to a special event and you're just sick of everything in your closet. Take a picture of your closet. It doesn't even need to be I don't even know. It does not even need to be a good picture. It doesn't need to be of all your closet. Take a picture of your closet and say to ChatGPT, I'm going to a cocktail party tonight. I am sick of every single thing in my closet. Can you help me put together an outfit? It will come up with the cutest outfit because it's stuff that you have. It's like you won't even have thought of it. So imagine, let's say you have to go to a wedding. We're all going to start having weddings and graduations and all that kind of stuff, in a couple of months. Don't buy new stuff this year. Just take a picture of your closet and ask ChatGPT to dress you. It does an excellent job. So there's your $20 a month. You're welcome. Hopefully I've probably belabored the point, but the reason why it's so important there's a million reasons why it's so important to me, but the reason why it's important in the context of today's workshop is because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about won't work very well with ChatGPT 3.5. You'll just be, she's not going to be good enough for you. I want only the best for you. So ChatGPT Plus for my people. I'm just going to say a little bit about my AI backstory, because why in the heck would you want to listen to some lady on the internet who's been a fundraiser for the past 24 years, right? Sometimes I like to say I'm just a dumb development officer. Well, the good news about that is that you don't have to have any special technical background in order to be a super user of generative AI. Nothing. You do not need to have ever, when I was a junior, I took a Brother word processor to college with me. The first time I sat down to do any kind of assignment on a computer, I was a junior in college, and I was a super junior. And my bestie and I were crawling around on the floor in the computer lab, trying to figure out how do we turn the machines on. Literally, I only share that not to disparage myself, but just to say if I can do this, you can do this. So last year in 2023, I caught the ChatGPT bug, and it was right when I had just, launched my consultancy after 25 years of fundraising in higher ed. And I was like, oh my God, this is pretty cool. I just did the basic parlor tricks, write me a poem, turn that poem into a country song, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, oh my goodness gracious, this is insane. So then I got to the point where I was I think of myself as the 5th grader to the 4th graders. And one of my mentors had taught us, as soon as you learn, teach. right? Like you learn this stuff, you teach this stuff. And so that's what I did. I started training frontline fundraisers. So now we've trained 1,700 of you. And what's remarkable about that is it's 98% of that has been free, and some of it has been one person at a time. So when I think about like the impact that I'm having as this, like as putting myself out here as a quote unquote leader in the AI space, that's something I'm really proud of. I really feel like this is our moment where we can upend some of the power imbalances that none of us have been comfortable with for many, many years by putting this power in the hands of people who haven't necessarily had that power or proximity to power. These tools are the new power, and I want all of you to have them and to be comfortable with them and know how to use them responsibly. I've gotten my, credentials. I'm in a couple communities of practice, one with the top AI consultants in the world. I am a co-founder of Light Magic AI, which is an AI solutions company I founded with some of the most fabulous human beings on the planet. We work with nonprofits, growth stage companies, Fortune 100, who are at that phase where they're like really aware that they've got some problems that AI might be able to fix, but they don't quite know what that looks like. Or maybe they've tried some stuff and it kind of backfired. We work with you to figure out what your company, your organization is ready for. We build custom tools for you. We work with you to implement those and then evolve your organization through working on like people and process change management. So that's about Light Magic. I've done tech rollouts and change stewardship, and our company ourselves at Empowered Fundraiser, we are an AI first company. So to give you an example of what that means is we have like reorged our workflows in ways that are just absolutely mind-boggling to me, where we are punching so far above our weight. We are 3 full-time employees, 12 subject matter experts, and 1 front-facing salesperson. And we're, doing the work and being compensated at the level of a, I don't know, probably 10, 12, 20, I don't know, person firm. It doesn't make any sense. It's phenomenal. So, and then the other 2 indicators are like our clients, we require them to subscribe to the framework for responsible AI and fundraising. And our subcontractors also must be big fans of using generative AI. So today we're going to talk about, I'm just going to hit really a lightly bit on responsible AI. And then I'm going to teach you the core prompting method, because the difference between when we all hop on ChatGPT and we're like, I need an email, I need a blurb, I need a memo, I need a poem. It's really cool because, ChatGPT understands normal, it's called natural language. It understands how we talk. It understands, what we're asking it, even when we're not being like super structured about it. But as our expectations grow, and they will, because in the beginning, you will be dazzled by the results. Well, or you'll be turned off by the results if you get something you don't like. But most people are pretty dazzled by the results in the beginning. And then you start to get kind of like where you're like, but wait, I still have to do kind of a lot of work on this before it's ready for prime time. And you're going to be wondering, like, how do I make it that? I think with natural language, you can get it to like 80% of good. But we want better than that. We want like 90%, 95. And of course, we're the expert in the loop. So we are always going to take the content that ChatGPT creates for us, and we're going to work on it ourselves. But you get my gist, right? Like we want it to be farther along. So that's the difference, is when you use a structured prompting methodology, like this one that I've created, the core prompting method, you will get better results. So does it take a little bit longer to learn? Absolutely. But am I expecting you to be able to code No. On the like continuum of like totally natural language, just like shooting the shit with ChatGPT, all the way over to like really, really structured prompts that are kind of like coding. My method is middle, middle of the road, maybe a little bit closer to sophisticated. I'm going to share 3 use cases with you that are totally the bomb for fundraising, and obviously all throughout take questions and answers. And again, note, if you want the trainings that we did the last 2 weeks, send us an email at hello@empoweredfundraiser.com. And if you want this training and the prompts, you'll get all of it. You'll get all of it when you email us. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Now, if you've been to my sessions before, we have a mantra, and I want you to type this into the chat. I will not put confidential information into ChatGPT. And here's why. For sure, things are becoming more secure. There is no question. But I want all of us to sleep super well every night. I don't ever want you to be in a position where you're worried that you have sent confidential information about a donor out into the ether. So let's hear it in the chat. I will not put confidential information into ChatGPT. I will not put confidential information in ChatGPT. And I think I'm seeing people's chats. I'm going to put mine in here. I will not put confidential information into ChatGPT. Okay, everybody. I will not put confidential information in ChatGPT. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. If you want to take the things that I'm teaching you today are almost all going to apply to your journey working one-on-one with donors. And if you want, thank you, Barb. Appreciate you for that. You guys are awesome. I will not. Barb, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So my very first workshop that I created, and the one that kind of inspired me to launch my consultancy, is Donor Visits 2.0. And we're launching another cohort for individuals in March. We almost exclusively sell our workshops at an enterprise level to entire organizations, but once a year we offer Donor Visits 2.0 to individuals. I think it's $209, but we have a promo code for $30 off for people who are on the wait list. So if you go to that QR code that's in the upper corner of my screen, just like, if you don't know, you just like point your camera at it and it'll take you to the website. Get on the waiting list, get the promo code, and starting March 18th, we launch that cohort-based workshop. So you'll meet other fundraisers from around the world when you're in there too. Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time, but take a look at that. So like I said, better prompting, right, is the difference between results and great results with ChatGPT and other large language models. And when I say other large language models, an example, and Donnie, can you drop Claude AI in there? An example is Claude.ai, Claude, like the name CLAUDE.ai. That's an example of another model. It's my second favorite. Really good results. But what I want to address is how many people you will hear say stuff like, well, ChatGPT isn't that great of a writer, or ChatGPT can't write in my voice, or ChatGPT this, that, or the other. Well, here's the thing. I have developed, I feel a little bit sassy about this now, probably because I have been working in this space for the last year. But when I hear people say that, what I hear is actually they're just not yet very good at prompting. Prompting is a skill. And as you go through this journey, you will probably experience something like I have, which is I used to feel like my work product, let's say I'm working with ChatGPT on like a briefing. I used to feel like the briefing was my magic little piece of gold, right? Like, look at this wonderful, beautiful thing that I did, everybody. I made this briefing and it's going to make all these things happen. It's going to mean that everybody's prepared to visit with the donor and they know what their talking points are, et cetera, et cetera. I don't feel that way. I've developed a different relationship with my work product. My work product now is my dope ass prompts. As I get better and better at prompting, and I, of course, keep those nice, neat, clean, and organized in a knowledge bank, and I'll tell you how to do that. That's my pride and joy. My prompts are my gold. Those are the most important pieces of work that I do in any given day, week, month, year now is the prompts. So I'm going to teach you how to be much better at prompting. Perfect? No, because it's things are changing every day, and like perfect prompting doesn't exist, and like close to perfect is really, really, really hard. But I can get you to like pretty darn close with the core prompting method. So here's what we're going to do. And by the way, the use cases that I'm going to use this on, I'm going to show you how to do a contact report, which obviously works whether you're in sales or fundraising or whatever, a contact report for your CRM. I'm going to show you how to use a great prompt to write your follow-up email to the donor or the potential customer or whatever. And then I'm going to teach you how to analyze a piece of marketing copy and ask it to rewrite it for you if you want. Okay, so the core prompting method. We collaborate with the model. We organize our prompts. We give a rundown of the context and share examples, and we provide explicit instructions to ChatGPT. So that's just a quick overview. CORE, core. We're going to start, obviously, with collaborating with ChatGPT. So what I want you to think about is less of ChatGPT as like a tool. Like it's a toolkit, not a tool, if that makes sense. Like I think about like Excel as a tool. I think of a paintbrush as a tool. ChatGPT is like this big tool kit that has the capacity to do so many things for you. Just like as you're working with a colleague and you're uncovering their skill sets, you're like, oh, wow, you know how to do that too? Like, let's say you're a fundraiser, you're like, oh, you've worked in CFR? Oh, okay, you know how to write grants? Oh, that's cool. You know how to plan events? Oh, wow. Let's do that. Oh, we've got someone on our team who knows how to do social media marketing. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're discovering when you're working with ChatGPT all the things that the model is capable of. So you're thinking about yourself as a collaborator, a co-creator. Think of ChatGPT as a colleague or a mentor or an intern. We often talk about it as a super smart intern. And just like an intern, you wouldn't just say something like, hey, go plan that alumni event, go plan homecoming, right? You would chunk it down, you would give explicit directions, you would iterate, right? You would create an environment where there's lots of opportunity to improve and enhance and refine. And as we know, sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating because we want to say to the intern, go plan homecoming and be done with it. Because like, wouldn't that be amazing? Right. And while this technology is magic, it's also not, right? It's like magical and dazzling and unbelievable at times that all of this information from the entirety of Beyonce's internet gets filtered through this little machine to give us exactly what we want. Like, how does that happen? It's phenomenal, but also it requires what we put into it too. Just like any other collaboration, we have to bring our skills to the table just as much. And we have to be patient because it does take iteration. And by the way, people who are here, and if you have any questions along the way, drop them in here. I don't always see all of the questions, but as I'm going along, I see most of them, I think. As I'm going along, I want to know if you have any questions. Okay. I don't want to get too far. ahead. And also remember, you can get these slides from me as well. Oh, and then hot tip, you can ask ChatGPT how you could do a better job working with it. So just say, hey, how am I doing? Is there anything that I could be doing in our collaboration that would help you and I get better results working together? All right, we are going to write nice, neat, clean, and organized prompts. Now, this is something that I would prefer not to do. I love a good run-on sentence. I love to leave my typos in there. I love to not even hit return. Like, that is awesome. And sometimes that is the best way to get a response, right? And sometimes you're just in a hurry and it just doesn't matter that much. I like to play this game called How Shitty of a Prompt Can I Write and Still Get the Results That I Want? Sometimes it's fun to just like not even do a good job with the prompt and just like be so surprised by the results that I get because they're oftentimes really good. So we're going to make our prompts nice, neat, clean, and organized. And we're going to create a library of our best ones. So whether that is in a Google Doc or in Trello or in OneNote or Notion or Word or Sheets or Excel, whatever kind of organizational system you like to use, like think back to what I was saying about how I feel about my work product. My work product is my prompts now. So heck yeah, I'm going to keep those organized and curated so that as I go through my daily life, I know where to go to get the prompt for any given project. And I probably do that 40 times a day, maybe more. And then just, invest your time and energy into making incremental improvements. So you may start using a prompt that's worked in the past and it's been like a banger prompt. And then all of a sudden it's kind of like not working that great. You just kind of like tweak it a little bit and then you update it in your library so that it's ready for you next time, good to go. Okay, a couple of other things we're going to do for writing our really good prompts. We are going to provide context for the request. So it's important that ChatGPT understands what you're asking for and why. So giving it details on like, I'll give an example would be, again, back to we need to plan a homecoming event. You might begin by saying, this is the 75th annual. We've got lots of learnings from the past few years. Our key audience is X. Some of the things we're hoping to do are Y. Just pour details into that as you see fit, right? It doesn't have to be everything, but as you go, you may find that you want to include a little bit more context. We want to be specific, right? So plan homecoming is not specific, right? But plan an alumni engagement event on February 2nd, 2024 at 11:27 a.m. in Corvallis, Oregon. That's an example of you're starting to get more specific. And then oftentimes the absolute home run is to include examples of what you're looking for. So for example, let's say you're working on a briefing for a donor. Well, a briefing for like yourself or a leader, your ED, your dean, whatever, who's going on a donor visit. You can absolutely and should provide ChatGPT with 3 examples, however, or if you only have one example of a briefing that you absolutely love, right? Give it those examples so that then the output that you get this time around is going to look just like the bangers that you've already done. And here's where I want to really talk about the people and process benefit really quickly, because I know we want to stay tactical today, but let's think about the example of a briefing. If you all are anything like me in your career as fundraisers, Donnie, am I seeing comments? I think I'm not seeing comments. I haven't, or are there none? Think about the example of a briefing. So if you're anything like me, I don't even know how many millions of not millions, but thousands, maybe, certainly lots and lots of hundreds of briefings I've written in my career. And one of the most frustrating things is that, you'll write a briefing and it's like good to go and you're feeling really good about it. And then it goes through the approval levels, the approval layers, or maybe it just goes to the end user, your dean or your ED or whatever. And getting it across the line to like everyone's satisfaction. People are here though. Okay, cool. Can be challenging. Like everybody has a lot of thoughts and feelings about briefings, whether it's the format or the length or the details that are included or not included, whether we write full sentences, whether we use bullet point. I mean, I have heard it all with regard to briefings. And by the way, the reason why briefings are so political and, weird is because people have imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs and fears of rejection, which is why they get nervous and they think that having like the best briefing in the whole entire world is going to make the meeting successful. So that's why. It's just plain old human nature. It is not about the quality of your writing in your briefing, I promise you. That said, obviously it's our work product and we want it to be good. So once you've had somebody approve, 3 of your briefings, now you can say, here's your voila, here's your briefing. It is just like, oh, hey, Kevin. You are unusually. I'm so glad you're here. You're on the subway. Where are you going? Anywho, just a little ADHD moment. Take me with you, Kevin. So briefings, this is your way to be able to say, hey, this briefing is in the style, with the level of detail, in the format, blah, 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 as every other briefing that's been approved already. So we should be good to go. All right, that's COR. Now we're on E, provide explicit instructions. So we're going to tell ChatGPT, exactly the format that we want this thing in. Right. And I put that word markdown in all caps because if you want it to be super readable with like headlines and stuff, the word markdown, that's what that means. Ooh, are you going to do anything fun this weekend, Kevin, in DC? I'm going to go to museums with you. I'm in Corvallis, but that's a limiting factor, but still. So markdown, file that word away. Markdown basically means make it nicely formatted. So we're going to tell ChatGPT exactly how we want it. Then we're going to let it know, like, is there something like a tone? Do you need to say like, write this like you work for the government and this is a like State Department memo, or write this in a casual tone that you might hear somebody using over coffee at Starbucks or something. In next week's session, I'm going to teach you how to write universal voice prompts so that you can always tell ChatGPT exactly how to speak like you, your leader, your brand, whatever. That is a huge, huge, huge level up. That's an example of where we're taking our results from like, 80, 85% to 90, 95%. So you definitely come here next week because if I can teach you how to create this voice prompt, you are going to be in bliss. Then you're not saying to ChatGPT, yeah, make it like this, make it like that. What you're saying to ChatGPT is write it in this, like exactly this paragraph. And that paragraph describes in great detail exactly how you individually speak, right? Okay. And then you can also tell it, do you want ChatGPT to show our work? Like show their work. So ChatGPT can tell you, here's how I would approach this project. I would first look at this. I would then look at that. And I would then look at that. So you can check ChatGPT's logic if you want to by telling it, show me your work or tell me how you're approaching this. All right. So that's CORE. Got it? Great. We're going to organize. We're going to give context and examples, and we're going to provide explicit instructions. You guys ready to dive into the prompting? First, here's another reminder to get ChatGPT Plus. If you're multitasking right now and you don't have ChatGPT Plus, you could just, grab your credit card, fire openai.com, whatever it is, fire that up and buy it, because now you're going to be able to make images. You're going to be able to analyze data. You're going to get way better outcomes. You're going to be able to use vision. This is your gateway to all the things. And then as a reminder, point your camera at the QR code in the corner or go to bit.ly. It's annoying. I don't know why there's a dot in the middle, but bit.ly/donor visits 2 to get on the waiting list. Okay, so here is what we are going to do. Are you ready? Hi, everybody. Boy, how is everybody? Happy Friday. I hope you had a good week. It's that time of year, right? The crocuses came up in Corvallis in the last couple of days. And when the crocuses come, Corvallis, Oregon, when the crocuses come up, and those are like these little adorable flowers, or like these green stems, and they've got these like cute little tiny little, we've got purple, white, and yellow at our house. First, the crocuses come up. Then I think it goes crocuses, daffodils, tulips, and then azaleas, I think. Anyway, for us, this is a sign of spring and renewal, and it's like the best feeling in the world to walk outside and see crocuses. All right, so here's what we're going to do. That was just a little interlude. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to write the world's best contact report with barely using your brain. Barely using your brain. And the best part about this is with January was the longest year. Kevin, you're not kidding. Oh my God. So here's my spiel about contact reports. I am such a mean mom about contact reports. Like if I ever see another contact report that says went to lunch, it'll be too soon. I firmly believe that the work product that we are paid for as fundraisers is the documentation of the relationship with the organization. And that is primarily the most valuable, juiciest, rare, unique data that's in our database is the contact reports. And we fundraisers are the only people who know this information. No one else, like Marcom doesn't know. They're, like the order of importance of decision makers in the family, right? They know that they have a family and these are their names, right? Our data is literally money. It is money in the bank. And I have a particular way that I recommend writing contact reports based on 25 years of refinement. All of my staff that I've worked with in the last probably 7 to 10 years use this format. Your colleagues of the future will be like, who was that dope ass fundraiser who wrote these banger contact reports? Because that we are setting our colleagues of the future up for success. So we're going to use my format and we're going to use a prompt that I've created, and you are going to have the very best contact reports you can possibly imagine. Step 2 is we're going to write the follow-up email to the donor using ChatGPT. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to analyze a piece of marketing copy. Okay, so here we go. I'm just getting ChatGPT ready for okay. Let me do a screen share. Can you guys see my ChatGPT? I think you can. All right, so here is what we're going to do. The way this prompt works is part 1 requires one of 2 things. Part 1 is based on either you've had a Zoom meeting with the donor and you are analyzing the transcript, or you had your meeting with the donor and you afterward left yourself a voice memo using ChatGPT, which, by the way, when you get ChatGPT Plus, what you can do is, this like little side button on your phone, that's like the action button or something. You can make it so that when you hold down this thing, you are now I'm now talking to ChatGPT. Like we're in conversation. It's listening to me right now. So you just put a voice memo in there, and I'll give you an example. So this is, and when you put the voice memo in, it's transcribed. So you just have that written thing. So for example, like in this case, had the meeting, got into my car, grabbed my phone. And by the way, so I avoid confidential information, I just change proper nouns. So instead of the name of the donor, I just use like Disneyland names. So, Anne met with Minnie about Disneyland Enterprises. The purpose of the meeting was to explore new collaboration, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't even need to make sense. You do not need to say any of the things in order. You could be talking and you could be like, oh, wait, none of that stuff is important. What's really important is that Minnie's boyfriend, Mickey, is the one who makes all the decisions in the house. I forgot to say that, but let's be sure that, let's be sure to keep, blah, blah, blah. Just put all of it in there. Okay. And then it's written and it's in your ChatGPT, and then you proceed with this project. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this prompt that I'm going to send you. The prompt says, you are an expert in sales operations. So anytime we're working with ChatGPT on a project, we tell it a role. So I'm just saying sales operations. You could say fundraising. You could say you're a chief development officer. But what I have found is that sometimes I like to use sales lingo in my fundraising prompts because it seems to be more like targeted then for some of the like more nitty gritty details than if I talk about fundraising. I haven't like totally tested this, but I just know that when I use sales terminology, it definitely turns out great. So you are an expert in sales operations. I need your help with the follow-up to a prospect meeting. In my message, I'm going to tell you about a recent meeting. I will need you to summarize the notes into a report for my CRM. Okay, so what have I done? I'm talking to ChatGPT. I've given it a role. I'm beginning to give it context. Now I'm telling it, send me 2 possible titles for the contact report, indicating what the prospect is interested in and what a timeline might look like. So back to my, beefing about the way people write contact reports. I want a contact report that says, interested in gift for STEM camp in Q4, FY24. That's the kind of contact report title I want to see. So we'll see. Will ChatGPT give us that? Time will tell. We want to indicate their personal or professional mission, what they're passionate about, what they fear. If they have particular pain points, indicate what they are. Indicate what they have already tried to solve a pain point. I use pain point because I don't know, when I write like, challenges in the world that they might like to address, like it's just a little bit more la la la. If I say pain point, it's like personal, and that's important for me to know. Okay. Outline the relationship with our company or our organization so far. How did they find us? Do they have friends who are involved? Outline how they make decisions and who is involved. Indicate what we know about their assets, income, and readiness to sign a gift agreement. Note how they like to communicate and indicate action items. Okay. So see all that context, right? I'm telling it what I'm looking for. I'm telling it what the project is. Now I say, use the below as an outline for the report. Purpose of the meeting, background on the prospect, interest in making a gift, what are their assets, how do they make decisions, what's the timeline, and what are next steps. Okay, so for this, I am going to just copy this. I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to go back because in this case, remember, I had the transcribed meeting notes up here. Like, see, it even has like my blah, 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 like in the end of whatever message I left, I was like, yeah, that's it. ChatGPT is smart. The meeting notes are below. Okay. So see the prompt? The prompt goes up here. These little hash marks mean kind of like I'm going on to the next section. I don't know. I think they help. Okay, now I'm just going to hit that button and ChatGPT is going to. Okay, so here are the potentials: bridging the gap in STEM education, a collaborative venture with Disneyland Enterprises. I don't like those titles, but that's okay. We'll leave that for now. Okay, so it's starting to answer all the questions. Budget for the project, their readiness, their decision-making process, their timeline, the next steps we agreed on, the action items. Okay, so let me just go through and check. Did it miss, like, one of the things I always check for is like, did it miss any like really big important things, you know? This is good. This is really good. Minnie is very interested in partnering with Empowered Fundraiser to initiate fundraising efforts for the program with a willingness to co-create a proposal. Okay, now I wanted to show you something. Let's say that this was just like blah, not very good. You have two choices. You can ask ChatGPT to, well, you have three choices actually. You could ask ChatGPT for a refinement. Like in this case, I might say, send me some more titles. I didn't like those. Make sure it's more clear or something, or shorter or whatever. You can hit this little circle to regenerate the response, or you can go up here. See this little pencil? You can click the pencil and edit up here. So let's say, I'm just going to edit this and I'm going to say, send me two possible titles for the contact report. You know, I'm going to just add a little thing to my prompt today, and I'm going to fix it, and I'll change it in my library that says, make sure it should be short and to the point. Okay, so I just made that little edit. Now I hit save and submit, and it's just going to do the project again. Okay, so as a reminder, you'll get this prompt and it comes with instructions on how to do this. Okay. So wouldn't you just be in bliss if you opened up your CRM? Like, let's say, you know, let's say you inherited somebody, like somebody left, you know, to go to another organization or whatever, or they got a different job and they were handing off their portfolio or part of it to you, and you opened up your contact reports in your CRM, and you had a contact report like this that was like everything you needed to know to be able to go close this gift. I mean, right? That would be a delight, would it not? Okay, so here we are. So we've got this. We're like, la, la, la. Okay, cool. I'm going to put this in my CRM. Well, another thing we have to be really good at is writing our follow-up email. And this follow-up email template is also based on my 25 years of working with donors. It is, I believe, tip-top. It will not come out in your voice perfectly because it's a generic template, but if you partner it with a voice prompt, which I'm teaching next week as a reminder, then it will come out in your voice. That said, it's pretty well optimized. So yes, you're going to get some like la, 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 some bloated writing because that's what ChatGPT does without enough instruction. But you will probably be able to edit it in like 5 minutes. So we are going to take this prompt. I need your copywriting expertise. So you're telling ChatGPT it's a copywriting expert. You could put that a million ways. Like you could say you are a sales conversion copywriter, you are an editor, you are a chief development officer, you are a Marcom fundraising expert, you could whatever, but that's all stuff that you can customize for your own preferences. Okay, so here is my follow-up email prompt. And just to walk through it, okay, I need your copywriting expertise to help me write an email to follow up to this prospect meeting above. Use this template to complete the prospect meeting follow-up message. Make as few changes to the template as possible. Use the contact report above to fill in the blanks. If it's unclear what to add to the message, say unclear or ask me a question. So you don't want it making stuff up. You want it to just say, I don't know. Sometimes it's going to make stuff up anyway, because it does try so very hard to be helpful. Here is a template for your email draft. Subject, thank you for our time together, mini collaborative opportunities. It's going to be something like that. Topic. And then what I do is I say, here's a resource we discussed that may not apply in your case, but a lot of times during donor visits, we're talking about a program or some kind of like initiative or whatever, and this is there so that it jogs your memory about whatever it is that you might have promised to send them as just kind of like a little nice follow-up thing. And then we summarize our next steps. So isn't it lovely in a follow-up message to a donor to remind them of the agreements that they made as well as the agreements that you made? And then reminding them, that we're working together hand in hand on this. And then here's the chef's kiss part. And this is why I love using generative AI so much. This is an example of something I would always forget to put in my email, but that I absolutely wholeheartedly believe must go in every email. Could you indicate when and how you prefer me to follow up? That gives you permission to follow up with them. And it also says, hey, you told me how to follow up with you. So here I am, right? Just in case they kind of like, some donors, some humans like are kind of ghosters a little bit. And that stinks, right? I'm aware that it is 11:52 and I promise to get you all out on time. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just skim this one, see how we feel about it. And then I'm going to teach you the next one. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for our time together, recent meeting. And then it's supposed to put the date in there, but since I didn't give it a date, it doesn't have it. Potential ways to collaborate. Want to follow up with the resource we discussed, blah, blah, blah. Our agreed upon, I agreed to send a detailed proposal to outline the scope, budget, and timeline, co-create the proposal with you, schedule a follow-up meeting. Oh, by the way, really important, fundraisers and sales professionals, if you're on the call, when you send a proposal, you always send here's my link to schedule a proposal review meeting. Never send a proposal without initiating that proposal review meeting. So that gives them a deadline. You're saying, here's the proposal, we're putting a time on the calendar to discuss it. So you got to read it, right? Always, 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 when you send a proposal, send a request for the follow-up meeting too, okay? So let's assume we like this, okay? It's good enough. We would cut and paste it, maybe do a little bit of editing, blah, 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 send it to the donor, done, right? The next step is done. Instead of all of this taking 45 minutes or an hour, which is how long it takes me to write a good contact report and even after 25 years and a follow-up email, this is about 7 minutes. And lots and lots and lots and lots of my students have told me, they'll say, it takes me 45 minutes, it takes me an hour, got it down to 7 minutes, got it down to 10 minutes, got it down to 12 minutes, and it's really, really high quality. Okay. So now we're going to do our last exercise together. And this is, and by the way, you will get the prompt for this as well. Okay. You are an expert. Here, hold on. By the way, you can have ChatGPT write, like, let's say you need like a fake data set, or you need a piece of writing, or I don't know, anything. You can ask ChatGPT to just make you stuff. So for example, for the purpose of this demo, I had it write me some marketing copy that wasn't bad, but also wasn't great. Easy peasy. Didn't have to even do anything. Okay. Okay, so here's the prompt. Oh, wait, 1 second. I'm actually going to start a new chat. You are an expert ChatGPT prompt engineer, marketing expert, copywriting expert, and writing professor. So I'm asking it to analyze a piece of marketing copy. So I gave it a bunch of roles that, these are people who would be good at analyzing marketing copy. I need your help reviewing and improving a piece of marketing copy, which is below. I gave it criteria, right? I want it to be readable. I want it to be at the 8th grade level, which is actually higher than we usually want for marketing copy, but I just did 8th grade. Engaging personality, optimal word density, appropriate use of white space, captivating writing style, and a contemporary tone that's not excessively casual. Make sure it's grounded in consumer motivations. I want to make sure that my marketing copy actually speaks to consumers, not accidentally speaking to us. A lot of times we write for ourselves. We are not our ideal client persona. We are not our ideal donor. We are just us worker bees. The donor, the client, that's who we're writing for. Analyze what's working well and what's not. Provide specific instructions for improvement. Send me your analysis because I want to see how it's thinking. Finally, ask me if you would like me to rewrite the marketing copy based on the feedback given. Provide all your results in Markdown. Okay, so I provided the marketing copy. It's about a giving opportunity to send girls to a STEM camp. Let's see how it did. What's working well? Okay, it's got good tone. It's got a clear call to action. It's focused on consumer motivations. That's very good. Areas for improvement, readability and grade level. The message isn't all that clear. Sentence structures and vocabulary might exceed. Word density, captivating writing style. Oh, incorporate storytelling elements, stories of the girls. Like, oh my gosh, perfect. What a great reminder to actually include a story about about a beneficiary, the actual impact. Simplify the language. Would you like me to rewrite the marketing copy based on this feedback? Well, why not? This is really important feedback. I believe that this is a trustworthy analysis. Let's see, is it rewriting it? It's still telling me, it's still analyzing it rather than writing it. Let's see what happens. Okay, it just ignored me. Yes, please rewrite. No. Please, it's being a pill. Please rewrite the marketing copy. No. Please rewrite the marketing copy. No need to show your thought process. Sometimes you just gotta like nudge ChatGPT to do what it's supposed to do. STEM transcends academic boundaries, offering a crucible for innovation. Oh, I see, we're not seeing everything. I don't know why it's showing me in this format, but let's see what it actually did. Okay, so the rewrite. Empower her future campaign. Unlock potential in STEM for girls. Why STEM? Why now? Each contribution you make is a direct investment in the dreams of girls facing economic obstacles to their STEM ambitions. With your help, we can nurture potential, champion equality, and cultivate the forthcoming wave of female pioneers in science, engineering, and beyond. Join us in this transformative journey. By contributing to empower her future, you ignite a pathway to empowerment, education, and equality. Together, let's illuminate a future where girls in STEM are not an aspiration, but a norm. So, I mean, obviously, it's not perfect. And it uses a bunch of so ChatGPT has like probably now about 100 words that if you leave them in your writing, everyone will know that you've written it using AI. So one of the things I just made a note to myself in the back of my mind, one of the things I'll teach you next week is how to train ChatGPT to not use any of those words, like unlock, unleash, beacon, transformative, game changer, etc. There's a lot of them, but we have a list of them so that we can tell ChatGPT not to use them. And it still doesn't always listen because that's just, how it is. But it'll avoid them most of the time. Okay, so thank you everybody for being here. We did a lot today, so please do email us to get this training, the prompts, the guide. I think I'm going to include the slides, as long as people don't just like steal them and use them for their own, like, I don't know, just making bajillions of copies of them. I'm happy to share them with you. Check out Donor Visits 2.0. Get ChatGPT Plus. Next time I see you, I'm going to ask you, did you get ChatGPT Plus? Don't forget, you can take a picture of your refrigerator tonight and ask it, how can I make dinner without leaving the house today? Okay? Thank you all for being here. It is a sheer joy to be able to be a little bit of a guide in your journey with AI. I'm really excited about where you're headed, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. And again, just email us to get all of the background and tell a friend, bring a friend next week. More the merrier. Oh, thanks, Craig. Good job. Everybody, happy Friday. Have a beautiful weekend. I'm going to go outside and see what our crocuses are up to. All right. Take care, everyone.